All right, guys, welcome back. Episode 65. Oh my God, of the Light Words Unleashed podcast. This is a solo episode. This is going to be outside the norm, okay? This is going to be maybe not what you expected, but I promise there's some nuggets in it. I did a solo episode on random Colleen thoughts, and they're random. Although some of them have potency in them and you can pull some stuff from them, and some of them are just fucked up and they're random. But you're going to get to know me in a different way. You're going to hear what I've been up to lately. You're going to hear some random shit going on in my life. And I hope you laugh and I hope you feel me and you take some stuff from this. And I hope that this podcast opens you up to be able to share parts of you that you haven't shared with people in the world, because I had a whole lot of fun. And I love to have fun. Obviously, if you guys have been here a while, you should know that I love to have fun. But I'm like, I really desire to be in relationships, like in all avenues of my life, clients, like friends, partners, all the things in my life, and be in relationships that are fun and that we can be real and vulnerable and talk about the shit that goes on in our mind. I used to have a girlfriend of mine that I used to share random thoughts with all the time. I'd be like, random thought. And then she'd be like, your fucking random thoughts are amazing. And they are. So wait till you hear some of my random thoughts that have been happening for me over the last week. I do give some energy updates. I do talk about what's going on in the collective, and I randomly weave it in randomness. So the word of the week this week is random. So I hope you guys enjoy this random podcast. And yeah, let me know how it fits with you. Let me know how it sits with you. Let me know what it was. Will I do this episode again like this? I don't know. But today, this is what dropped in, and this is what we roll with. So we did. So with no further ado, my random thoughts podcast episode 65, Light Warriors Unleashed podcast. See you later. All right, guys. I'm going to apologize in advance as we lead in and move through this episode together. My technology is falling apart over here today. Literally, I met up with a friend of mine today and I go, I feel like I'm getting punked. And he's like, I feel like I'm getting punked too. And I was like, oh my God, like just the life connections. Like my phone just decided to not work on data when I needed to transfer money to go to the bank. And now I'm trying to float around finding a Wi-Fi connection to get money out of my bank account. So I'm coming in hot in this podcast today. And I recorded this for at least 5 minutes, but my mic kept flipping in and out. And I went, fuck that shit. I'm re-recording. So let me bring it back into what I recorded earlier in connection with this podcast episode. So like I was dropping into this space. Obviously, we're in a solo episode right now. This is going to be me ranting about some random stuff. But I was feeling into the space today and I was like, what do I want to talk about on the podcast on Friday? What does it feel like? What am I going through? What are my people going through? We are in an up-leveling energy right now. And some of us are exhausted and tired as fuck. And I was like, maybe I'll talk about that. And some people are super connected energetically and they're like only having 2 to 3 hours of sleep because they're waking the fuck up. We are in upgrades right now. And I'm like, oh my God, that'd be super cool for me to talk about that. And then I'm sitting here dealing with my technology issue. And it was like, let's do a random thoughts by Colleen episode. And I'm like, yes, I literally started laughing and I'm like, this is going to be fucking great because they're going to be random thoughts. And some of you guys have been in my world a while and you've heard some random stories and you've heard me speak about certain things, but you've never heard my random thoughts. There's some people in my life that used to get random messages from me where I'm like, this is what I'm thinking about. And why this was all sprung on, because I literally just made an Instagram story that says, it's my favorite time of the day. It's time to take off my bra. Now, granted, I still have my sports bra on that I'm wearing. I don't wear normal bras. I haven't for years. Not a big fan of underwire, not a big fan of like all the fabric. Like if I can go no bra, sports bra, or a bikini top, I am in. And I mostly lean towards the no bra part. But sometimes I'm wearing, really relaxed sweaters and I just desire to not be fully flopping around. Luckily through my weight releasing over the last few years, my boobs have like gone back into a normal size that it's not like they like sag or anything, where when I had a little bit more fat on my body, my boobs would sag. See, I told you this is random thoughts by Colleen. Random thoughts by Colleen. So this came about inside of this space and I've got a lot of random things to share that maybe I could have created a whole podcast on certain subjects of it, but I am choosing not to. I'm choosing to give you random thoughts. So this whole entire podcast is going to be random things that I want to talk about until I'm done talking about random things. And then we'll move through. So let me give you actually the synopsis of this energy moving in right now. So you guys heard my Guatemala episode last week. and I'm still exhausted. Like my body is still calibrating. My girlfriend Laura, who I went with, and her family, she's even tired still. She's like, I'm going to bed super early. We're not lifting the weights in the gym. Our body is sore. It's not calibrating enough. And I spoke to a guy friend of mine last night, and I told him, I'm like, oh my God, I'm still fucking exhausted. I was down for the count all weekend, like literally on this couch of creation, which if you're watching on YouTube, you are seeing my couch. And I call it the couch of creation. I literally laid on this couch all day on Saturday watching Love Island games. Okay. Now, I don't want to admit this out into the universal world that I actually watch Love Island games, because I swear it made me dumber. Okay. Like I was texting my girlfriend and I'm like, look, I'm not high, I'm not drunk, but I've been laying on this couch for like 12 episodes of Love Island games, and I think I'm stupider because of it. And she's like, you probably are. I'm like, I know. And now, granted, I watch it on 2x speed most of the time, unless it gets to the good parts. I fast forward some of the things because I'm like, it's the same conversation about the drama. And if you guys know, I'm like not into drama. But for some reason on Saturday, I was glued to this couch watching Love Island games. And then I put on Sex in the City because, I just want to diversify the content a bit. Might as well get all the low vibration into my fields of awareness that day. And then I cleared my energy. And apparently now my mic came off. And if you're watching the video on YouTube, so did my light. Okay, let's try this speed again. Need to move through. There we go. Okay, we've almost got it aligned here. Coming back into distorted space of things. Where was I talking about my random thoughts? Okay, so yeah, that happened on Saturday. Sunday, I cleared my energetic field. Still, like I ended up going to yoga, walk the beach. So I didn't do any like proactive, like really hard workouts. I didn't work out yesterday. And for those of you guys that have been following my journey, I was on 75 hard. I started it. I stopped 75 hard when we got to Guatemala because one of my eating regime was no carbs, and I needed the carbs. And I just felt like, yeah, I could mark it off as 2 workouts, that hike, because we technically had a break at lunch, but I just didn't feel like I was in integrity, nor did I feel aligned with it any longer. I jumped into 75 hard to create a space of movement in my world, and that's a stick. That is a staple in my life. I have not shifted it. I've not changed it. I had a beer while we were away, so I drank some alcohol. So I went off of the actual regime of 75 hard, but I just felt like I couldn't hold it. So on Monday, I didn't work out either. I hadn't been to the gym here in 13 days. Now, granted, I had 3 days of intensity and a ton of walking while we were away in Guatemala. And then I did yoga and I did do some active stuff, but not an actual workout yesterday, Tuesday. And this podcast obviously launches on Friday, but this is happening. If you're listening to this podcast within the first week, this was happening within the earlier part of that week. Tuesday, I went to the gym. My body does hurt today. My back and biceps hurt. That's what I did yesterday. I didn't push as hard. I worked with my trainer this morning. He always pushes me hard, even though I said to him, I'm like, Jose, we got to go easy on the weights. I usually do Bulgarian split squats without any weight on the bar when we use the Smith machine, because we drop into a really deep movement and I'm able to push up through the glute and activate it. He fucking loaded the bar today on me. And I was like, you bastard. And like, I was just like, whatever. But my glutes already hurt. So my body is going through this new level of calibration. It's going through this new level. But I was speaking to a guy friend yesterday and he says to me, Colleen, it's not just about Guatemala. You are going through upgrades and your body is recalibrating in the physical form, which is very true. I am in a rebirthing phase. I am in the middle of a fucking huge upgrade where all the things no longer aligned in my life are literally being torn out. And some of them are leaving in like fucking dramatic ways, and others are leaving in really quiet ways and silently leaving. But I'm honoring all the flow. I'm honoring whoever's leaving to go. I'm honoring whoever's staying to stay. I'm honoring all the new people coming into my world and the beautiful experiences. Like I'm having people DM me that don't know me. Today, I just did an Akashic Records clearing for someone who didn't know me. She saw me on a summit and booked a session. And I'm like, this is amazing. I'm loving the vibe of all of this newness, but I'm also in grieving space of all the old, of all the past leaving. And I'm honoring all of the aspects of the rebirth. And I'm allowing those to leave. Like I'm not holding on. I'm not begging them to stay. I'm disconnecting the energy. I'm cutting the cords. I'm doing all the things that I know to do. in order to hold the energetic capacity that I'm meant to serve in and keep calling in the people that are aligned in the aspect I'm meant to serve them in. And so through all these upgrades and all this stuff, I'm like finding the real vibration in Colleen. Like, I love working out. I love doing the work. I love moving it through. So next random thought. When I was away in Guatemala, it dropped in that I was to start actively kind of pursuing a relationship. And what does that mean? That means that Colleen decided to get on a dating app. And the dating app is called unjected.com. And it's for people that didn't get the Schmovid vaccines. And you actually have to prove your health status, and you have to meet with a nurse before you get verified to actually be in the actual platform, which I think is actually really cool. And so on Monday, I met with the nurse and I got approved to be in unjected.com dating site. So it's been a kind of fun experience. I am choosing to step into my femininity here, meaning I'm not pursuing people. I'm going to invite them into my field, except for this one guy that I messaged today. He's the only guy I've messaged. All the rest I messaged back. There's 5 other guys that are in my inbox. None of them are really doing too much for me, but I am in the space of being open and available and showing the universe that I am ready to take on a relationship and ready to take on that love aspect and ready to be all in with this aspect of things. So one of the guys I follow on social media yesterday made a post about hot women eat meat or eat steak and lift weights. And so I made a comment on that because one of the guys that was in my DMs in the unjected.com website was a vegan. And even though it specifically states on my profile under interests, eats meat. And it also states that in my bio that I eat a lot of meat, because I do eat a lot of meat. I am 95% carnivore, except for when I'm hiking in Guatemala, but my everyday life is 90 to like 85 to 99% carnivore. I very rarely eat any like breads or anything along those lines. Like other than having maybe a glass of alcohol once in a blue moon, like once every 3 months, once every 4 months, once whatever, I am like 95% in carnivore. So like today, now chicken is kind of like not really on the carnivore diet, but I do like roasting chicken and throwing in the crock pot for like 12 hours and cooking the shit out of it, but it doesn't dry out because it's being cooked in its own broth, which I love. I love, love, love. See, I told you, random fucking thoughts podcast. But yeah, like, and I wrote that in there. So in his profile, he writes, looking for a woman to cook me vegan meals. So I was like, what the fuck is this? Why are you even DMing me? I am a carnivore and I'm not cooking you fucking vegan meals because I just won't do that. Then this same guy sends me a message today, and like I'm not entertaining in a way of like, come and get me. I'm communicating, let's just say. And this guy I'm communicating with, here's what I said to him. Are you still in Toronto? Because that's where his profile says he lives. And what do you love to do around work? And he says, well, I'm not working right now because I got laid off because I wouldn't take the jab, in Canada. But I'm going down the conspiracy theory rabbit hole and just researching so that when I meet my woman and we get our property, and he doesn't have any money, okay? Like he told me that blatantly. When we get our property, because he actually says in his profile, I can't guarantee you a great life, but I can guarantee you that we will, I don't even know. Like he can't even guarantee anything. Right. And so he wants a woman that'll cook him vegan. He wants a woman that's going to take care of him. He doesn't want to do any work. And I'm just like, this isn't my kind of guy. Right. So when I saw this post yesterday about women eating meat, I made a comment, agreed. And then I wrote, I also believe about men doing this. And when someone commented back on it, and I was like about men eating meat and stuff. And she goes, yeah, do not date like a vegan. I go, dude, I had a guy messaging me about making him vegan food, and I'm like, does he not get about the meat thing? And then she's like, the next thing you know, he's going to be asking you to paint his toenails. She goes, this happened to me. And I was like, fuck that. Right. This isn't my jam. If you want to be a vegan, amazing. Be a vegan, own your veganism, own your vegetarian stuff. But like as a single woman and you're looking to date me, but I eat meat and I specifically tell you I eat a lot of meat in my profile, why would you expect that I would make you a vegan meal? But here's what he's seeing. She lives in Costa Rica. She's an entrepreneur. Like, I've been doing this life for a while. In my profile, it says, why don't they have under interest dancing in the rain naked? You know, like I'm just speaking my truth, and I'm being so raw and real and vulnerable in all the things that I'm like, I do not want to pretend to be anything that I'm not. And so some random guys, I'm having some conversations. One guy is in Bali. He travels all the time. He's 46. He's looking to have some kids, and I'm open to that conversation. And he's like, I should come to Costa Rica and visit you. And he's pretty good looking. He's from the UK. So that would be kind of fun, you know, marrying a guy from the UK. Although the UK does have a lot of dynamics like Canada does, but who knows? So I'm just leaving it open. But today I did message a guy that I think is hot, and he lives in Texas. And I just said to him, so what's your favorite activity outside of work? And if you could travel anywhere right now, where would you go and why? And then I wrote, oh, by the way, my name's Colleen. So let's see. I don't know. I threw the napkin into play, or I dropped the whatever it's called again. Matthew Hussey, if you guys don't know who he is, he's a relationship coach. I went to his retreat back in 2017. I got some fucking funny stories about this. I'm not going to tell you about them today, but he talks about, when I first saw his videos, about dropping the handkerchief. You know, back in the olden days, when a woman wanted a man, her move was to drop her handkerchief and like right around where that guy was, so that he could become a gentleman, pick it up and bring it back to her to open up the door for conversation. So I just DM'd him. Whether he's going to respond back or not, I don't know. Like, and I'm not going to go any further to do any of that. I'm going to let him keep the pace. And if he doesn't want to keep the pace, then he doesn't have to keep the pace. But so far, he's the hottest guy I've seen. And I like that. I like that. So I don't know what's going to come about this, but this is my Random Thoughts podcast. It's episode 65. I figured that was the exact right date. I even wrote in my bio actually that my favorite fruits are pineapples and papayas. Like, like the most random shit I put in my profile. But I'm holding space for all the things, right? I'm in this adventure to be, to do, to become. So what else do I want to tell you guys about in my random thoughts process? Yeah, you know, like I'm one of those people that I desire to share with you all of me. I don't want to pretend to be something any longer. Like most of my life, like a lot of my life, probably not really the last 7 years of my life, but before that, so 35 years of my life, I was a chameleon. And I need to move my leg, man. And I don't know if this mic's going to flip out now, but my leg's falling asleep. And I don't know. Do you guys like your legs falling asleep? I fucking hate this feeling. So let me just see if I can slide it out without messing up the process. Maybe. Ooh, I kind of got a little bit of it. Okay, we're sort of good still. What was I talking about? Random thoughts. I'm like, I wish someone was here live with me right now so they could remind me about what I was fucking talking about. I was talking about my leg falling asleep. See, this is going to be the fucking best podcast ever. I love these kinds of podcasts. I love this kind of space. Oh yeah, about being real and vulnerable. I, for 35 years of my life, wore masks. I was a chameleon. I was like, what do you want me to be? I will be whatever you want me to be. If you want me to be this, if you want me to do that, I will do it all. And I sacrificed so much of myself by my own choice. I did that. I made a choice, a conscious choice to become that, because that's what I thought I had to be. That's what I thought I had to do. That's what I thought I needed to be in order to be accepted in life. Obviously, I was wrong, right? Obviously, I was playing in an illusion. Obviously, I was stepping into an arena in a space of like, whew, not feeling like I could be myself, right? And for a lot of years, I played that game, including in my last long-term relationship, and including now. Like he made a comment, and if you guys have been around the podcast a long time, you'll see, like, I think it was like episode 3, like, or episode 5, like way back at the beginning. He made a comment to me one day that I was being phony and fake. And I go, I'm actually being myself for the first time in my whole life. And you're just referencing the woman you knew when we dated, who had a chameleon energy, who would do all of this for you because I wanted you to accept me and love me. And it wasn't who I really was. And although I would love to do stuff for him, and I would have loved to cook and be together and pick up his son and do all the things I did, but I did it sacrificing myself instead of in a connection of devotion and love to our relationship. And it's interesting to look back on the energies of all of this, right? So like looking back on this realism, looking back on this space of like taking this personal responsibility for ourselves in our life. And this is a key that's running right now through the collective is personal responsibility in all avenues. Like I'm dealing with a lot of this in my rebirth and going, fuck, like I had a creditor reach out to me today from something from like 10 years ago. And they're threatening to sue me if I don't pay it. I'm going to pay it. I'm just not going to pay it when they want me to because my ego is like all fucking tripped out about it. But I've totally forgotten about all of this. And this was a part in time in my life where I didn't understand the value of financial exchange, that I got into relationships with money and different aspects of money that weren't aligned. And they're like threatening to sue me today. And I was like, guys, I just really need you to understand that I know the statute of limitation is up. Like you can't just go put a lien on the house I don't own in Canada anymore, or you can't garnish my wages from my employer because I technically don't have one. And I'm like, and also too, like you could do whatever the fuck you want and try to litigate, but the statute of limitation is way gone. And I don't say this from an ego trip because I believe in karma. I also have cleared up a ton of karmic debt because of some shit stuff I did in this life and past lives already in this life. And I'm like, I'm good with fucking karma. I also believe that that is my personal responsibility to take care of. And could I let it slide for another 2 years or whatever? I could, and it would get like it would still be on my record of credit, but it would get released into the ethers. But I'm like, I don't want to participate in life that way. I don't. I think I remember, and I don't think I remember. I remember today I was somewhere random, I'm sure, and I was thinking about this, and I think I owe. No, I know I do. Yeah, I know I do. This woman that I did work with for probably like 15 years ago. And I believe, and if I'm gonna have to drop back into this memory, but I believe she gave me an extra $300 for something in the expectation I would give it back to her. And I never did. And that's a loop that I need to close. Oh, let's talk about that right now. We are being called between now and the end of the year to close up some loops in our life. Where in your life do you have loops to close? Do you have paperwork that needs to be filed? Do you have taxes like I do that need to get done for 2022? Yeah, I haven't done that yet. And I'll probably just do 2023 at the exact same time and just implement December's numbers into it so I can send it all off at the same time. Do you have things that you've started that you need to finish? Do you have anything you need to clean out? Emails, you need to I have so many I need to dump again. And I've done this before, like 10,000 emails. I need to do that. I need to double check some of the aspects of my world and clean up some stuff. My photos in my phone need to be recategorized and dumped out of my phone in some degree, put onto my computer, but not through iCloud in some other way. So I can keep them and house them there and they don't get deleted if I delete them off my phone. I got to figure that out. But I need to move some stuff off my phone. I need to clean up some of my energetic space before the year because I know, and this is a thing in this moment of time in the energy, it's not every single year, although this would be a cool thing if everyone did it every year as a clean slate. But this year especially, we need to close off some ties. In December, if you guys are listening to this in November, if you're listening to this in the beginning of December, I have a couple ways to do this with me if you decide to. We're doing cord cuttings in one of the programs that I'm offering called the 2024 Enlightened Year. We're going to cut cords of this year. We're going to release energy of this year. We're going to get our game plan in order. We're going to channel in the energies. Everyone's going to get active readings from me inside this program as to what's to come for them in this year, where they need to pay attention to, how they need to show up in life to be able to hold the enlightenment moving through the collective in 2024. If you feel this and you're like, fuck, I want to be a part of that program, send me a DM. Maybe this weekend I'll get the link up for it. But I'm teaching my Akashic Records level 3 training this weekend, and we're doing some cool fucking shit this weekend. Some cool shit. And I got to finish the manual tonight, by the way. It'll get done. The manual will be completed by tonight, and it will be in their inboxes tonight because I don't want to do anything with a manual tomorrow. No, I don't at all, actually want to do anything with a manual tomorrow. I want to like free flow tomorrow, even though I've got a program to teach. I got a podcast interview to be on. There's something else. Oh yeah, I'm going to breath work tomorrow. Like that's what I desire to do tomorrow. I think I may go to like a candlelit yoga class tomorrow night too, just to fucking own it. Right. But that's what I want to do. Random thoughts. Remember? Random thoughts with Colleen. These are random thoughts. This is what happens in my brain actually all the time. This is what happens. What else do I want to tell you guys? For those of you that don't know me that well, I am a spiritual guide. I do everything in energy and alignment. I do everything in intuitive flow. I live my life in this place. And some days it's super fucking easy to do life, and other days it's super fucking hard because a lot of people don't get it and understand why some of the decisions I'm making are coming through my field, because I'm fucking listening to God, and that's what I'm being told to do. And it sucks some days, that I have a Lone Ranger energy, but other days it's super fucking amazing, and I own it and I'm in it, and I have amazing people in my world here, and a community, and I've got amazing clients, and I love the work that I do every day. And I literally live a life like a video game. When I channel and I tap in, so whether I'm in programs or I'm on a podcast right now channeling because I'm seeing visuals, I am teaching master classes, I'm leading circles, I'm doing one-to-one work, whatever I'm doing. When I'm doing energy work, I'm channeling. When your Akashic records are open, when we're doing clearings, when I'm, channeling meditations for you, all this shit I do, all of it. And I call it shit on purpose for a reason, aligned shit, we'll call it, in beautiful ways. I see when I channel. Now, something you don't know about me maybe is that you don't know that I actually don't see entities in real life when I'm doing normal things. My clairs of spiritual gifts are clair feeling. I can't remember what the names are, like the actual sophisticated names. I feel and I know. I have a so strong knowing, and I feel vibrations in my body. I feel my body will light up when something's of truth. I'll get goosebumps, I'll get feelings, I'll get heat in my body. Like my body feels a lot. But I have this strong knowing. And everyone's like, how do you know? I'm like, I don't know, I just know. Like, and that's the answer I give all the time. But when I channel, I see. So when I close my eyes and I do a visualization, like right now, right here, my energies that I work with are in my house. They're here. And some of you guys may think I'm crazy, and I fucking am, which is amazing. I have 12 dragons, one that my higher self and me ride, and 11 others that support Ascended Masters and Ascended Master teams and other teams of energies. I've asked them if there's a name I can call them so that I don't have to call everybody in by name. And they want to be called the Collective. And right at the same time that I discovered all of them were here, and the way that their potency is and how they're showing up online was the time that I launched the Collective, my actual membership, my spiritual in my spiritual expansion community, where we're activating, where all the things happen through there, where people get to connect, where I'm dropping meditations every month and I'm doing trainings in it every month, and everyone gets the master classes and all the circles and all the gatherings and all the stuff. It's my place. And I use the term the collective a lot for the energy moving through the world right now, and the energy moving in the space of time. So it's been really cool to work with them. And I want you to know, like, if you are new to spirituality and you kind of happened upon my Random Thoughts podcast here right now at this very moment of time, I want you to know that you're supported. And I want you to know that you have access to guides, to angels, to deities, to support. You have a higher self that is your alignment, that's helping guide you in this life. You're not alone. You're not alone. Even though some days we feel like we're alone, we're never alone. We have protection teams. We have clearing teams. We got guides that have contracted with us this whole entire lifetime that we're incarnated. That's a thing. So one more thing I wanted to do on Random Thoughts is I'm told to pull a card. And I'm just trying to not pull a card and mess up the microphone. I'm pulling it from the Star Dragon deck. So I want to give you guys a message from Divine tonight. Today, for whenever you hear this podcast, this is relevant for you because that's how I operate. So I'm going to see. I have to hold this microphone with one hand, but these cards are slippery. If you guys don't know this deck, this fucking deck is amazing. It like, I am all into dragons. If you guys are watching the video, you guys will see it. This is a Star Dragon deck from Palo Barbi Barb E. Barbieiri. It's Italian. There's actually Italian instructions in this deck. Okay, so I'm gonna close my eyes for a second, and I'm gonna pick a card for the collective. This card represents something that you need to know at this very moment of time for your life, for your advancement, for your movement, for anything. And we're going here. Wow, it's the card of legacy, and the energy is all about persistence. And this is a gray card. It's darker. It's got a gray dragon. Let me see if I can move it up. No, my camera's not participating in live. So for those of you guys watching the video, I apologize if it's like not clear. I can't do anything about that right now because I'm trying to hold a microphone. Okay, let me see what it actually says in the book. Now, this book isn't detailed, so we do a lot of our own interpretation inside of here, but let's see. Card number 8. It's 8. Legacy and persistence. Oh, this has actually got some stuff here. Here we go. Wisdom of the Herald. So there's a herald on the card, and there's also a dragon on the card. You came, you saw, you conquered. You persisted. Persistence means you keep going no matter how many times you fall, no matter what crumbles down around you, press on. When the dust settles, you will still be standing. Keep going. The wisdom of the dragon. What is your purpose in life? What is your legacy? What are you here to do? Persistence is key as you take action to secure your destiny in life. And ultimately, what will you leave for others? What will you pass on? Define your destiny. Your greatest legacy is calling. Then they have a star dragon invocation in connection with this card. Have you ever wanted to give up in a situation but refused? Where did that lead you? What did it feel like to persist? And what did you engrave on the tablet of your greatest legacy in the Hall of Records on that day when you finally overcame the odds? Recall this victory and reflect on how you can be more persistent in your life. I talk about this often, actually, about us giving up and about us diminishing ourselves into the fear and about us allowing that fear to create doubt and to create all the fucking bullshit that it does. So the dragon asks you today, where in your life do you need to persist? Do you need to step in? You need to keep showing up for yourself? Do you need to keep eating the food? Do you need to keep working out? Do you need to keep, perfecting yourself in your mechanisms? Where do you need to keep persisting in your life, in your career, in your avenues? Like I'm finding this in business right now, in creating, like I'm like, okay, I got to get this landing page changed over, which is tomorrow's job. I want to get this other thing created. I want to get that other thing created. And I'm like, yeah, I'm persisting. I want to get all of this aligned before the end of the year. Every single piece that I need, 5 lead gen magnets, 5 ways to get into my world for free, movement of this, changing of the landing pages for all the programs that are going to be self-led, getting my Shopify account done. It's a lot. But once it's done by the end of this year, that means 2024 is turnkey. That means that I can focus and throw some ads out for some stuff and sell some other things online that way. And I can focus on potency in the collective and the membership, potency in programs. And not that I'm not now, but I'm like, I'm going to do some fucking cool shit in 2024. And I'm so fucking excited for it. Like, I can't even begin to tell you how excited I am for it. Where in your life do you need to persist? Where in your life are you being called forward? Where in your life are you needing to let go? Those are some fucking random thoughts for you that are not random, I love you guys. I just want to say that. And even if this is your first time here and we've never met and I don't know who the fuck you are at all, I still love you. You know why? Because you've taken the time to be here to listen to my random thoughts and to laugh with me and to laugh at me for sure. Because if you didn't laugh at me, you should. Because there's a lot of funny shit that happens in my world all the time. And if you actually lived in the day of the life of Colleen, you'd be like, holy fuck. Not even the way I float, not even the way I connect in, not even the way I make money. I'm talking about Colleen normally. Just Colleen. Like yesterday. Okay, so I need to tell you guys this. So when I order bananas here in Costa Rica, we get a bunch of bananas. You can only order a bunch of bananas. You can't order one banana. You can't order because they come in bunches. They come right off the tree to my house. Okay. They aren't shipped in containers from somewhere. They literally were cut probably 2 days before I got them. Okay. They're still sticky with the stickiness of banana juice. I buy them green on purpose. I get somewhere between 10 to 14 of them on a bunch. Now, if you know anything about bananas, when one of them starts to ripen, they all start to ripen. And there's a system that I fucking tried that doesn't work. So I am right now with 10 yellow bananas that I need to eat. Now I got some of them that are still a little bit green on the end that I'm trying to just coax into staying that way so I can get more bananas in. So now I'm eating 2 to 3 bananas a day. If I had 4 people in my household, that'd be fucking easy, right? Each of us eat your banana, and everyone would eat bananas and we'd be good. But I don't. So I have to eat all the bananas because Everyone's like, well, why don't you make banana bread? I don't eat grains because I'm not eating flour, so I can't eat banana bread. Well, why don't you put in your smoothie? I don't eat smoothies. I sometimes will make some juice with my frozen strawberries and pineapples in the fridge with coconut water, or like coconut water with just fruit. And I guess it's kind of like a smoothie, but not. But I have pineapples and strawberries in my fridge that have been there for a few months. Okay. So, like, I just want to be real, talk with you guys. I'm not going to do it. I know I'm not going to do it. So, I'm mowing back a banana yesterday. This is the story, random story I want to tell you. And why I'm going into the bathroom with my banana in my mouth, I don't know. Okay. Like, I'm going to get something. And all of a sudden, a fucking gecko drops down from the ceiling onto my head. That's my life. Okay. This is what happens to me all the goddamn time. And then I can't find the gecko. It's not in my hair. It's not on the floor. He's gone. And I haven't seen him since yesterday. He's around, I bet. But I don't know where he is. Or else he's almost dead because he won't let me take him outside and he's not listening to me when I tell him where to go to get outside. I don't know. I try to help, but I can't really. This is my life. This is what happens to me. You know, I come home one day and I find a snake in my bedroom. That was a fun day. You know, like I'm like, all of a sudden I open up my door one day and I have all these stray cats outside of my house. This one day, like, so this mom kitten that had babies, we ended up finding homes for them all, which was a beautiful, amazing thing. But one day I wake up and I'm like, why are there 7 cats out on my yard? And mom's looking at me. I go, you're in fucking heat, aren't you? And she was pregnant again when I ended up getting her spaded. She had 7 kittens in her. She had just had 5. I was like, holy fuck, there's no way I'm having 13 kittens. Plus all the strays that keep coming by now because you've put a sign up on the fucking house that says cat sanctuary. I will eventually have one, by the way, guys, cat sanctuary. This is my life. This is what I do. This is how I live. I live in the moments. I live every single day in present time. I am still a human in this experience, but it is just so beautiful when you get to flow and move within an energy. And I care about people. I care about life. I care about things, but I also don't care. And what I mean by that is that all the things that I thought were important up in Canada, some of them aren't to me anymore. The high maintenance availability we have, like even my feet are like rebelling against my high heels. And for those of you guys that don't know, I'm that girl. I brought 10 pairs of high heels with me to Costa Rica. I got rid of my stuff and my high heels are a thing for me. At least they were in Canada. They're not really a thing for me here. Every so often I'll put a pair on, but my feet are rebelling against them. I am going to be headed to a conference in May of 2024 and I'm putting it out into the universe. I'll be speaking at this conference. I'm going to have to be in high heels the whole day. And I'm like, fuck. But I think I'm going to actually do my talk in bare feet on the stage. I'm just going to fucking own it. They'll be like, who's this crazy chick from Costa Rica that showed up without fucking shoes? That'd be me. Do you feel what I'm putting down? This whole entire podcast of Random Thoughts is about me showing you my realness. Me explaining to you all the fucking crazy stories that are going on in my life and for you to get to know me better so you can feel me. And maybe inside of you, you can start to own all the parts of you. And maybe you can feel into this and go, fuck, if Colleen can talk about random thoughts and vegan guys and, you know, crazy shit like that, maybe I can step into my space and own who I really am. Because you can. You just have to make a choice to own all your crazy. And when you do that, life gets fucking fun, right? You can show up on your podcast and speak about whatever the fuck you want and just be yourself. So one last thing I'm going to close this off with. I'm getting photos done again next week. So for those of you guys that have been watching my brand expand, fucking energy coming off those photos, it lit the fuck up. I've released a little bit of weight since those photos were taken, which I'm excited to go. I'm going to go get some new clothes on Monday because we shoot on Tuesday next week. And I said to my photographer, she's like, what's the vibe? And I'm like, we're headed to the beach this time. So we're going to do beach shots. I may do a shot in a bikini. I feel I can own that at a certain angle, which would be really fucking cool because I have never put a bikini shot of me online ever. So I'm like, this would be fucking amazing to own. That might happen. I can't guarantee it, but it might. But I said to her, look, I have to get like a professional kind of photo done where my nipples aren't showing, but it's still me and my vibe. Like I'm never going to do like still photography, like headshots, not my jam. But for speaking engagements, you know, for my online profile, I was like, I sent the photo of me to my girlfriend of me laughing with the white dress on from the waterfall. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you go to my Instagram, you'll see it. But you could see my nipples through it because you can't see the whole areola or anything, but you can see my nipples like my nipples in it. And it's because I just came out of the water and I'm wearing a white dress and it got wet. That's the thing. But the picture is this pure, intuitive energy. And it's just so me. Like it's me laughing. It's just so me. And she's like, what kind of guys do you want to attract? And I was like, point taken. So I ended up putting a picture of me with a hat on with an amazing smile. And I'm like, that's part of me too. I love wearing hats. I love a tomboy energy. I love, not wearing tight clothes. Like I love just being. I love lifting weights at the gym. I love literally watching guys watch me lift weights and they're like, who the fuck is this chick? When I was doing my sumo squats today and I could see my quads accelerate, like I have leg muscles, guys. I can work legs. And I was like, fucking rights. Look at this. I love this. I love life. I love all the things about life. So I can't wait to share with you guys any photos. If you guys follow me on Instagram, and if you don't, why the fuck aren't you following me on Instagram? Click the link. It's in the show notes. Just saying. I can't wait to share with you all of the new dimensions that are coming out and what these photos are going to look like. There's a lot of wood there, which is going to be good because it'll diversify the lake or the river and the water that I used the last time. It'll be ocean shots and sand. I think the last photos will be me getting my face dirty, like covered in sand and just really owning a sandy vibe. I don't know. But you know what I do know? I want to explore. I want to laugh. I want to be. I want to have joy and pleasure in my life. And I just want to go experience life. And I hope the same for you. I hope that you feel this energy from me. And I hope that you've laughed at me. And I hope that you are like, fuck Colleen, she's so funny. I am. And I'm cool too. I tell myself that every day. So without further ado, I will finish this podcast off now. And I'll see you guys in the next one. And like I always say, did you learn anything or did anything come through that you could quote? Probably not, but maybe you want to share with a friend who's like having a bad day and you're like, dude, you should check out this chick because she's crazy and this might help your situation. Share it with a friend because you know what? We're all in this together. I love you all. Thank you for being here. And I'll see you guys all in the next episode. Bye for now.